Hello everyone, I'm Jason from the Tactical Amputee. I'm a two-way and firearm safety advocate. I want to explain to you guys the purpose of my channel and my goals here. I want to be able to tell my story to spread out firearm safety awareness to everyone, so my accident doesn't happen to somebody else or possibly even worse. I am a below the knee amputee, which I can show you right now. Not too bad, just above the ankle. I became a below the knee amputee from a negligent discharge from my Glock 29. For those who don't know, that is a 10mm, and actually this is the gun I shot myself with. Just to come closer, show you guys. Empty bore, empty mag well. Put my finger in the bore. There's no bullet. Safe direction. All right. So yes, this is the same firearm I shot myself in the ankle with from this negligent discharge, which hence made me lose my leg. So I'm gonna explain how this happened. June 23rd of 2023, I had a family friend over, and me and him having a conversation, the conversation of firearms came about, and he ended up wanting to see my firearm. So if you know me, you would know that I don't just hand anybody a loaded gun. I don't care what your experience is, how long you've been handling firearms, whatever the case may be. I don't hand anybody a loaded gun. So we're talking, and I'm clearing my gun. So I'm gonna go through the motion to show you what happened. So I'm standing in front of my kitchen counter. He's standing about 2 to 3 feet to the left of me. I racked my slide back and dropped my mag at the same time, right? Now, my first round that I had in here that was already in the head hit my counter. So I heard that. He had asked me a question and I looked away from my gun. So in the motion of me not looking at my gun and going off of muscle memory, racking my slide back and dropping the magazine and hearing the first round hit the counter, in my mind, my gun is clear. Now, what my theory is, when I dropped the mag, it didn't fall out fast enough and it caught a round and put one back in the head. And me not looking at it, I wouldn't be able to know that one went back up there. So I'm standing there, he's standing there, we're still talking. I'm going to go clear the trigger now at this point. With him standing there, I don't want to point downwards in his position or downwards at his feet. And normally I've never cleared between my body, I never cleared my firearms near my body or between my legs or anything. But just on some just not really paying attention, being too comfortable, I point downwards, I go to clear the trigger, click, bang, it goes off. I end up hitting myself in the ankle. Now, before I continue this, I'm gonna show you what took my leg. One of these right here, 175 grain Winchester USA ready personal defense round. This is a nasty round. I still carry it every day, faithfully. So now, we're sitting there, gun goes off, and we're both confused because we're in my kitchen, I have tile floors, so my tile's not torn up, there's no blood. We're both confused on where the bullet went. So we're looking around, and mind you, I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel any burning, I didn't feel any pain, I didn't feel my adrenaline or anything jump up or anything. My heart didn't accelerate, nothing, my heart rate. And we're standing there, we're like looking like, where's the bullet? And I stepped forward like this with my right side, and out of nowhere I just feel a crazy like pressure jump up the right side of my body, and I've never felt that before. So I'm confused, I'm like, what the hell is that? And I look down and I see literally a quarter-size hole at the top of my ankle, which was basically right here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but basically right here. So I hit myself here, the round came down, entered, exploded, sent shrapnel everywhere inside my ankle, and then the main slug stopped 4 inches deep into my heel bone. So I feel the pressure, I step forward, I feel the pressure, see the hole, and my first reaction is I get mad, I get really mad. I'm like, what the hell? Like, how the heck did this happen? Like, just start getting mad and everything. So after I came to realization that I'm shot, all right, my medical training kicks in. First thing I do is I go to my back, lay on my back, I bring my knees to my chest so I can keep all the blood in my body like centered to like my heart. Because if I would have kept standing up and freaking out and everything, I would have had, sorry for the noise in the back, hopefully you guys can still hear me. I'm outside, so I still have neighbors passing by. But I go to I lay flat on my back. I have my knees to my chest so I don't end up bleeding out. I call my wife out of the room, yelling to her, "Hey, I'm shot, I'm shot." She comes out. I don't have a bad thing on me. I don't have a tourniquet in the house, so we had to make a makeshift one. She grabbed the big towel, came, told her where to wrap my leg up, secured it, called 911. Fort Lauderdale Police Department shows up. The first cop that shows up is honestly really like, he was really calm. He came and he's like, "Oh, what happened?" And I'm laying on my back. I'm like, "I'm shot." And he's like, "Okay, where?" And I showed him my ankle, like I pointed at my ankle. And he saw the hole and freaked out. He was like, "Oh my God, hold on, let me get this tourniquet on you." Everything. So boom, paramedics come pick me up and go to Broward General Hospital. I'm there the first night. I was in that hospital for 3 days. So the first night I'm there, I still have the round in my ankle for approximately 16 to 17 hours. I have my first surgery. They were able to take out most of the shrapnel, but they couldn't remove the actual slug itself because of how deeply embedded it was in my bone. I still had full function, full feeling, blood to my foot, everything. Everything was still alive, but my ankle did not exist anymore. My ankle was like, basically the doctor described it as if I had my if my ankle was like a bag of rocks. And you used to go like this with it. That's how my ankle was. It was just little shards of bone everywhere. And I had a quarter-sized hole from the top of my ankle all the way down to the heel bone. So my ankle was destroyed. There was nothing they could really do about that. I've had, after that first surgery, I had an external fixator. And from June 23rd to August 15th, every month I had a surgery, like back to back to back. So first surgery was to take all the shrapnel out and fixate my foot. Second surgery was to try to see if they can actually put it's called a total ankle, which is like an ankle replacement, but basically to try to see if they can anchor any kind of metal or anything in my foot. First surgery happened, or the second surgery happens, doctor cuts into my foot, and literally, from what he describes, is little shards of bone just falling out of my ankle. Okay, so from the amount of bone that I lost, they had to put a cement block into my ankle to replace the space of bone that was gone. So I sit for a month on that external fixator. I go back in for my third surgery. My third surgery, they cut the other side of my foot to see if they can try to anchor something in on the other side. That side is blown up too. Same thing happens. Little shards of bone start falling out. I had to have 3 blood transfusions. One during surgery because of how traumatic the wound cavity was, and then 2 after surgery, like laying in bed recovering and everything. I lost at least 40 to 50% of my blood like mass from my body. So I had to have 3 blood transfusions. Okay, so after my third surgery, doctor comes to me and he's like, "You have 2 choices. You can either stay with a dead foot or we cut it." hardest decision of my life. I'm only 26. I just had a newborn. My daughter was only 4 months, about 3 or 4 months when I accidentally shot myself. And it was, honestly, it was a very hard decision. I gone my whole life with both my legs, and to just, in the instance of looking away from my firearm and shooting myself, and mind you, I should have told you guys this, mind you, I've been handling firearms since I was about 10, 11 years old, 27 now, about to be 28. But I've done everything under the sun with firearms. Build them, paint them, clean, shoot, do all kind of everything. Literally everything and anything you can name with firearms, I've done it. So the fact that I shot myself by accident just goes to show that being too comfortable and having the assumption and assuming that your gun is clear, not the best idea of things. But yes, doctor basically gave me my two options. Had a conversation with my wife, and she's like, okay, look, you're basically playing a losing game. You can either stay with a dead foot, or you can cut your leg now and be able to walk with a prosthetic and still live a normal life. So I just said, screw it, I'm gonna cut my leg off. So, boom, literally have my leg cut off 5 days after my birthday on August 10th. So August 10th is my birthday. 5 days later, I have my leg cut on the 15th. Go through that surgery, wake up, and where I was at in Miami at this hospital, the recovery room had somebody with COVID, so they couldn't just take me out of the operating room and bring me in there and everything, so I had to wait for them to clear all that up. So when I initially woke up, I woke up next to a one of the nurses and the people that put you out, anesthesiologists. Don't quote me, I said that wrong, but basically the people who put you out. And I woke up and they were like, oh, you're awake, this and that, expecting me to wake up and freak out. And me being so high off of the stuff that they gave me, I look down and I see what I just showed you guys, and first thing I said to them was like, oh man, that's cool as hell. And the nurse and them were like, yo, what's wrong with you? Like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah man, you guys don't see this? This is cool as hell. And I start shaking my leg and everything, making jokes about it. And they're like, man, you're the first person I've ever seen wake up out of a surgery after losing an extremity or a limb or anything. Most people wake up, they're crying, oh, my life is over, this and that. You're just sitting here happy as can be. I'm like, I'm just glad to be alive. It is what it is. It had to happen at some point. It's better I have it happen when I'm young instead of having it happen when I'm in my late 30s, early 40s, and going through that whole process. So I go to recovery, sitting in there. Literally 10 hours after having my surgery, I'm literally on the side of my bed doing workouts, shifting my leg, I'm moving around, I'm on a walker walking around the hospital already. I was literally in the hospital after getting my leg cut for only 2 days. Like, the nurses and them didn't want to release me or anything, but I told them I'm fine, I'm able to move, I have my meds for the pain and everything, so I was good. So I go home, everything is good, and I have staples all across my leg. Had to wait 2.5 weeks for that to get cleared up and get pulled out and everything. And then, I want to say at least like 5-6 months after that, I was able to get my pain catheter released from my leg. So after that was released, that's when I started having all the nerve pain and all that stuff, so had my meds for that. But for the most part, I'm good. August 15th of this year makes 2 years since the accident. Currently, I'm not fully able to walk on my prosthetic that I have. I'm able to stand up on my own weight on it. Still hurts like hell. I'm basically putting all my weight down on my shin bone and everything, so still got to get used to that. But I have this beautiful brace that allows me to move around and still go out to the range and still train and do my thing and still live a normal life, but just at a slower rate. But I just wanted to be able to give out awareness and give out, like, basically what can happen if you really like mishandle firearms and just get way too comfortable around them, and assuming that your gun is empty. That's the last thing you want to do. I'm here to tell you, don't think that don't think that anything like this is cool. I see a lot of things on YouTube and Instagram and all these different platforms, people not having trigger discipline, waving guns around with their friends and all kind of stuff, and literally anything could happen. My doctor literally told me one of his patients at the time when he was dealing with me was a SWAT team member of Fort Lauderdale Police Department. He was cleaning his rifle, walking it back to his safe. If somehow, some way it went off, went through his tibia bone and messed his leg up. He shot himself with a 300 blackout. Now my doctor was one of the best orthopedic surgeons in South Florida, well over 40 years of experience, dealt with millions of gunshot wounds, and he's told me, like, literally I am the top 2 like worst gunshot like wounds that he ever had to deal with. He's never seen somebody get hit in the, basically what he describes it as the best worst way possible. I didn't hit any bone, I didn't hit any nerves, I didn't hit any arteries, I only blew up bone. That's it. So for it to be the weird angle and everything of how I shot myself, luckily I didn't hit any nerves, I didn't hit any arteries. I could have really bled out. Like, it only takes 2 minutes to bleed out, literally 130 seconds and you're gone like that. And the size hole that I had, which you guys can check on my Instagram, it will be in the description of at the bottom of this video. But yeah, it was very bad, but I'm here to explain everything, and hopefully my story can bring awareness to people, so I can, hopefully someone hears this and it prevents a possible same accident happening to them, or even worse, because that's the last thing I would want. So hopefully everything is good with everybody. My story helps somebody, and I'm glad that I'm able to come to you guys on this channel. I'll be having more content coming this Saturday with Delray Shooting Center with their Huxworths and Veltor's event, and then going to the Florida Gun Expo this Sunday also. So stay tuned for more content, and thank you for listening to me, hearing me out, letting me be able to tell you guys my story. But as always, be safe, stay dangerous, and always train like your life depends on it, because no one is coming to save you. Thank you.